And we want to start to set an agenda of our values as a person and the value we can offer them before we ever meet. So when we turn up, we can make it all about them as a customer.
Welcome back.
Hang on. I'm interviewing you. Welcome to John.
Oh, hang on a second. What do you mean?
Well, we're talking about personal branding, and you're the guru in this particular topic. So welcome to John Smibert's Strategic Selling Group video. In this episode, I'll actually interview John. So John,
you really hijacked me then.
That's okay. So I know 2 years ago when I sat down and had a coffee with you and talked about my own personal brand in social, you made a huge difference for me.
Oh, thank you, Tony.
You made a huge difference. I've managed to build followers within LinkedIn. It's not easy building LinkedIn followers today. A lot of those strategies you taught me made a really big difference. But what I want to talk today about is personal brand. It amazes me how many people I go and meet and work with out there in business-to-business selling that are allegedly professional, and I look at their brands and it just blows me away, the basic mistakes they're making. What do people need to focus on?
Well, I agree with you. It's very sad to see. I've seen some really brilliant salespeople out there and they're losing their edge. They're really good in sales when they're selling face-to-face and they understand how to manage the sales process and so on and so forth. But they're not engaging with their target customers early in the process because their target customers are on social. Target customers will be looking at them on LinkedIn. When you approach somebody these days, what is it, 75, 80%? Let's have a look at this person on LinkedIn before
true.
Or they send an email, even with an email. Who's this person? Let's have a look at LinkedIn. And it's something like 8 out of 10 profiles on LinkedIn are more damaging than good in presenting a person's profile as valuable or potentially valuable for a customer.
So let's share with the audience what you think those fundamentals are that people need to get right in their LinkedIn profile.
Well, I'm not going to go where a lot of people go straight away and talk about photo and tagline and how you write your profile and all that sort of stuff. I'm going to go back to strategy.
Yep.
Because I think about a lot of teenagers these days on Facebook or Instagram and so on. They do themselves enormous damage because they don't think about what they're doing and they end up putting up content that destroys their brand. I've got to say, most of the salespeople I come across do the same thing. They're on LinkedIn, and what they present on their profile, etc., is a very poor presentation. And then they have, if they do any content, they haven't thought through what they're saying. So strategy is vital. That goes right back to what's your overall vision and mission? What are you trying to achieve here, particularly in relative to how you're going to build a digital brand, where that's going to take you. So getting that clear is essential. Second thing is authentic self.
Yes.
And I've got to say, I've been one of these guys that have. I know particularly when I was younger, I tried to be different to what I thought I really was.
Present a persona.
Because I thought my customers and my peers wanted to see this sort of salesperson or sales manager, so I'd be that rather than being myself. So you need to roll back the onion skins, really get down to your authentic self. Because people warm to people that present their authentic self. So vital.
And I really agree with this because people have always bought from those they know, like and trust. And the reality is, as you said, 75% of buyers research us before they engage. And we want to start to set an agenda of our values as a person and the value we can offer them before we ever meet. So when we turn up, we can make it all about them as a customer.
You're absolutely right, Tony. So once you've got all that, now you can start thinking about your brand.
Yes.
And what is your brand? Your brand is your unique promise of value to your target audience. So one is you've got to get clarity around your target. Call it target audience. In sales, we might talk about target customers, but within your customers, you've got CEOs, you've got CFOs. They're all different audiences.
Yes.
And then you've got people that influence those people. So they're in your target audience as well. So you need to think clearly about all your target audience, and then make sure you've got clarity in what's unique about you, and we're all unique. It's really, really important. Everybody understands this. You're unique, and you have to decide what that uniqueness is. It needs to be authentic, and then that's unique promise. So it's something you're promising to your target audience of value to them. So you get clarity on a unique promise of value. That is your brand.
Yes.
Now you have to get it out there. So you've got to think about the strategy to get it out there, to communicate it. Once you've got all that, now you can go to your LinkedIn.
You're right.
And set up your profile.
Correct.
What's the photo going to look? What's my tagline going to be? How am I going to write up my summary, right?
Yes.
What sort of content do I need to put on that?
Yeah.
And now the strategy is what drives all that. Without the strategy, we're likely to do damage by just chucking stuff up on LinkedIn.
I really agree with you. So people need to move away from having their LinkedIn profile as an online CV.
Yep.
They need to think about that tagline under their name as not their job description or their title, but their promise of value.
Exactly.
And their summary needs to show the value they offer people and the values by which they operate. And then they need to do all those other basic things, right, to be professional.
And it's not going to take a week or two doing what I've just said. It's a good 3-month process to think this through and test it with peers, test it with customers, and really get the story right and get it onto LinkedIn. And it's not just LinkedIn too, it's Twitter and it's the whole environment. And the content you produce, if you're going to produce content, or the content you curate, you need to think about all your strategies relative to that, content curation or content creation. And the list goes on.
So, John, this has been really valuable because most other people I've seen out there talk about those basic things of get a photo, get a good photo up online, tailor and customize your LinkedIn URL, sort out your headline. It's all those basic things, but you're right, you need a strategy. Mm-hmm. And the difficult thing is, what is my promise of value to the market? What are the values by which I operate? Because they're the things that make me unique when I go and project my brand out in social.
And unless you've thought about it much, that's going to be hard work to get to that very succinct, unique promise of value.
Yeah. So, John, thank you. I hope you've enjoyed watching this, and follow John in social and watch lots of the other videos that he's put up online. John, thank you.
Hey, what happened to my interview?
It's gone.
Thanks, Tony. I appreciate it.
Thanks, John.